Hi, I've been thinking about doing a video on this person for a while, and the video I want to do today is going to be a tribute video to a person who just recently passed, and that person is Lemmy Kilmister of the band Motorhead. Now, for those of you who don't know, something that I have to admit right now is that I have been for many years big hard rock and heavy metal fan. And I've been thinking about, Lemmy's passing for a bit, and I really thought that I wanted to do a tribute video to this rock legend. Now, for those of you who don't know, Lemmy was the singer and bass player of the band Motorhead, a band that he formed back in 1975. Motorhead was a hugely influential band, particularly to bands that played like thrash metal. Although Lemmy considered his music to be rock and roll, you pretty much could call something like Motorhead proto-thrash. Lemmy got his start in England in a band called the Rocking Vicars, and from there he then moved to London, where he formed a friendship with Noel Redding, who was the bassist of the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And from there, Lemmy then became a roadie for the Jimi Hendrix Experience. So, he's been around a long time, really had a lot of different experiences. And then after that, he was in a band called Hawkwind. Now, Hawkwind is a band that a lot of people probably haven't heard of, although, it's a great band. They very atmospheric, very spacey. They had like hard psychedelic rock sound. I would definitely recommend them to a lot of people who like that kind of music. And I know there's a lot of people who do who haven't heard of that band. Lemmy was certainly the driving force of that band when he was in it. Although the main guy was a guy by the name of Dave Brock, I believe. But Lemmy was the driving force. He sang on probably their biggest hit, which was Silver Machine. And it was also kind of influential on the punk scene as well. A lot of punk rockers really liked that song a lot. And like I said, Lemmy was really the driving force of that band, and his vocal style became very influential. After that, however, though, he apparently was in some incident on the U.S.-Canadian border, where I guess he had some drugs on him, and they thought it was cocaine. It ended up being speed, but he was in jail for a little bit, but then got out. But when he got out, he got kicked out of Hawkwind. So when he got kicked out of Hawkwind, this would have been about 75, he then formed Motorhead. And like I said, Motorhead was a very influential band, especially because of the fact that they played more of a stripped down kind of a sound. Wasn't, atmospheric and psychedelic like Hawkwind was. They stripped everything down and had kind of a harder edged punk sound, pretty much a proto-thrash, and definitely had a big influence on Metallica. I know Lars Ulrich said he used to follow Motorhead around on tour. James Hetfield copied Lemmy's facial hair. So a lot of guys in a lot of bands really drew a lot of influence from Motorhead. Motorhead had been around a long time. I think this would be their 40th year. And I want to say they had about 22, 23 albums, I believe. So they come out with an album every year, year and a half. And I myself, was actually fortunate to see Motorhead on a couple occasions. And I'm definitely glad I did. So one of the things I really do like to do is I want to see a lot of these classic bands, before they end. And, got to see Motorhead twice, so it's definitely great, because Lemmy, truly was a legend. There was a lot of depth to, him as a person, to his character. He was actually quite a military historian, from what I hear as well. He amassed a large number of artifacts, war memorabilia and stuff. He had it all like in his condo where he lived, which was, I guess, a couple blocks away from the Rainbow bar and grill where he was a regular. So, that's all I have to say. I just kind of wanted to do a tribute video to Lemmy Kilmister. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good night.